So who'd have thought I have nothing funny to say about a survival game in the frozen wastes? So instead, just have 30 seconds of walking through the snow to some funny music. Okay, so as you can see, I am playing The Long Dark, one of the current games on the Xbox Preview program, one of two. So before I really start anything else, I just want to say if you see any bugs or this doesn't look particularly finished or anything like that, it's because it is still in its beta phase. So it's currently out there on the Xbox Preview program. If you become part of the program, you can go and you can play it. This is the trial version. You get 60 minutes for free, or you can pay $15.99 and actually have the whole version, just like any other game that comes onto the program. Okay, right then, but on to today's first topic, which I believe is poor conversions from console to PC. It's not really about conversions, it's more about the shoddy release of Arkham Knight recently on the PC. The console versions are fine, but the PC version is practically unplayable, and it's just not right in this day and age. I mean, we've already had massive backlash from Assassin's Creed Unity. This is probably the second game that's really garnered that much attention. And it's becoming an ever increasing strategy to release unfinished games on PC because Steam recently announced that they will be taking refunds on games downloaded off the system, which means these companies are going to start losing money if they put out shoddy products and people aren't willing to go back and buy them. They'll probably go off and buy them on console instead, fair enough. But it still isn't good working practice in order to release these games in the state that they're in. Um, I really think they should be learning their lessons by now, and from what I understand, I don't think it was entirely on Rocksteady. Of course, I don't know the ins and outs of everything, but it seems like they're very apologetic. They seem to be saying that Warner Brothers pressured them into getting the release for the PC version out at the same time as the consoles, and it just really messed with the release of it. I'm hoping that they managed to get on top of it and fix it. But at the moment, no, it's not good at all. Have any of you guys had any bad experiences with it? Let me know in the comments below. Really, that's all I've got to say about that. It's something that hopefully we will see go away fairly soonish. But in the meantime, this is unacceptable and needs to be fixed. Okay, and speaking of unacceptable, the Taken King is taking advantage of you. Okay, Destiny fans, I'm sure those of you that are out there would have been horrified to see that in celebration of the next DLC that's coming out for Destiny, the Taken King, which I believe is a fairly large expansion, which is going to blow the game wide open. Um, they are releasing a collector's edition, collecting basically the game, all of the old content, and then giving you some extra physical goodies and things like that. I think I saw a strange coin, an actual physical strange coin actually included in the bundle and things like that. But the thing which has really annoyed people is the fact that they are getting some bonus skins and some extra emotes as well, like the little dances that the characters do and stuff like that. They are going to be included in the package and made completely unavailable to anyone else that's playing the game or has been playing for a while, meaning that you will have to probably sell up your old version of the game and buy this new one and basically pay twice for all the downloadable content that you had before in order to get the full experience of the game. Okay, I mean, games have done this before, but never has a company been so forward in treating their fan base like crap. Uh, a mem- a An employee of Bungie, Luke Smith, actually was interviewed by Eurogamer, and at one point I can actually read right here that this guy basically said in the interview, "You're feeling anxious because you want this exclusive content, but you don't know how much you want it. The notion of spending this money is making you anxious, and I can see it." To which Eurogamer responded by saying, "I do want them, I would buy them." He then said, if I fired up a video right now and showed you the emotes, you would throw money at the screen. Okay, you've got to somewhat applaud the honesty of this, basically saying, yes, we're doing this because we know you will spend money on this. It's pretty terrible, really. It's bad business practice and really alienates your fan base. I mean, Bungie actually responded by saying, we apologise for this, and we do have something coming for the loyal fans who have been following us for ages. Then it turned out that they enraged the fan base even more, because it turned out that these benefits actually turned out to be a promotional thing with Red Bull, where if you buy cans of Red Bull, your characters will gain more experience, and I think there was a Red Bull themed level as well, a mission based on drinking Red Bull. Again, this has outraged fans again, because not everyone that plays Destiny likes Red Bull, and in order to get the benefits of this, you have to go out and buy a product in order to actually play these things. Again, it's terrible. It really isn't treating players right at all, and it actually then took to the Xbox players, the Xbox One players, because they haven't been getting the exclusive content that's been given to PlayStation. They've then got the Red Bull incident, they've got the Taken King Collector's Edition. So it seems like Xbox One users feel like they are the bottom of the pile when it comes to Bungie. And I can understand why, but it did actually lead to Bungie then releasing a statement, a rather amusing statement, saying, we don't hate any of our fans, and acknowledged that that fans will feel a bit alienated by this. If you're an Xbox One fan that's been playing this from the beginning, you're getting less than anyone else that plays this game, which is just not right. And they've actually since, because of all this, Bungie have then apologised and said they will sell the Taken King DLC goodies separately. I don't know whether this is necessarily good enough. I feel as if this now should be a freebie, simply because no one is happy anymore. I have to admit, I have now uninstalled Destiny, and I have no plans to go back to it, and it's probably going to be a rare case where I exchange in the game, because honestly, I think from a moral standpoint, this has just annoyed me to no end, and I'd never be able to play Destiny again without thinking of this. So anyway, yeah, I'm very annoyed, other people are very annoyed, and rightly so too. Right, what's next? Okay, it's a FIFA story, and we're moving from bad business practices on behalf of the companies who develop the games to bad consumer practices, and I really hate this story. It's been a real miserable episode. But basically, the story goes this way. Kid was playing his FIFA game, and was playing as Bayern Munich, and he had a 90th minute penalty in what was apparently some important game, and he missed it. His favourite player, Mario Gotze, well, I don't know if he was his favourite, but Mario Gotze, who's the central character around this, missed the penalty in the game, and the kid threw a fit and smashed his controller. He then went onto the Bayern Munich website and complained about it, and then it turns out Mario Gotze is going to buy the kid a new controller. Why is this bad? It seems like a nice showing by the guy himself, but is this not going to cause a chain reaction for a start? And secondly, isn't it acknowledging, or at least to this kid, that it wasn't his fault, it was the player's fault? It just does not seem right to me, and it seems rather disgusting. It says something about the way people think nowadays, and it's just not right at all. You missed a penalty in a game. Deal with it. Jesus Christ, you smash your controller, that is your fault. My God, what is wrong with people nowadays? Okay, one more thing I wanted to complain about, really, and it has been a very complaining episode, is graphics comparisons. Recently, a website, I've forgotten which one it was now, ran the usual graphics comparison on Arkham Knight between the Xbox One version and the PS4 version. Now, the problem here is that there are differences, but they are minute, and they're not the sort of thing that could really, really bother someone when they're playing one of these games. Of course, though, it does start trying to, fuel the flames of a console war, basically. That's all I can see it ever does, because you get all the Xbox One people coming on and saying, "Oh, here come the PlayStation 4 crowd to say, oh, ours is so much better. The Xboxes looks like crap," and then, in absolute fairness, you then don't really get too many PS4 fanboys coming on and really making that claim, because most people will acknowledge that the difference is tiny and you can barely tell the difference between the two. So if you've got lots of people, a lot of people that read these articles that are saying, what are you trying to prove here exactly, then it just goes to prove that the only reason they actually do this is for the reaction and maybe trying to fan the flames of a console war, which we just don't need. We really don't need it at all. If there was a massive difference between the two, then yes, I could understand it. And if they actually gave their own opinion themselves. But a lot of the time, they just compare the two. They explain what's different between the two and never actually commit to saying which one is better. You do find that happens a lot of the time, not all the time. But the ones which don't commit are just doing that. They're just looking to get people arguing on their forums, and it's just enough's enough, and it's something we just don't need. So it's been a pretty miserable week, I suppose. I've had a lot of complaining to do, but I thought I'd finish on a nicer story, and that is the one which I think just about everyone's heard now, about the guy who has been saving up bottle caps ever since Fallout 3 and decided to cash them in order to get a pre-ordered copy of Fallout 4. And Bethesda have honoured it. And I know this seems like a very similar story to the one before, about the FIFA guy. However, this is more to do with someone who's used their initiative. They've done nothing wrong necessarily. They tried their luck, and Bethesda said, you know what, we are going to honour this. And it's just a really wonderful story. Basically, I applaud this guy for jumping on the boat. I don't expect them to do it for anyone else. I think they even said, this is the one person we're doing this for. And good on for you for coming up with the idea and actually going ahead and doing it. I thought it was absolutely wonderful. And also, it actually does make Bethesda look good as well. So you know what? Everyone wins there. So finally, what do I think about this trial version of The Long Dark? It's interesting. There are a lot of survival games out there like this now, and this one doesn't really offer anything particularly different, other than the setting itself. You obviously have to contend with the cold a hell of a lot more, but it seems decent. And I think that, like I said, they're asking $15.99 for this, which is relatively cheap. And I think it is the first time we've seen a survival game quite like this on Xbox One, I believe. I mean, you've got tons of them on PC now, what with DayZ, which is coming to the consoles. You've obviously got Ark as well. And I don't know, this still seems like a neat little game. I actually quite enjoyed playing through it. It's quite uneventful, but you really do feel as if there's real pressure on you. I have had fun with it. It's one to look out for. Definitely, it's something that's good to have on the Xbox preview program. It does show off just what is coming, along with Elite Dangerous, which I have played, but is rather boring to watch because you've only got access to the training missions on the free trial on Xbox preview program, so I won't be doing anything on that. But overall, it's very interesting, and I've enjoyed playing it. Okay, so there we have it. It's got an interesting art style too. I really like that too. But yeah, anyhow, that's it for this week. A lot of complaining, but there we go. Sometimes that's life, eh? All right, see you soon. Bye.